You hear the horses, you hear them riding. It is going to be the Abbasids versus French here on Dry Arabia.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Arguably number 1 and 2 in the world right now. Seed 1 and 4. Beastyqt obviously not having a lot of points. Jumping into AoE4 a bit later than others, so skipped major tournaments. For example, the EGC hosted Genesis early on, and that's why he's quote-unquote only seed number 4, although he is one of the biggest winners in Age of Empires 4, if not the biggest winner that we have right now. And I'm curious how this one plays out. Maybe we can ask chat a bit what they think, how this set is going to go, because it's really close to call. Who's your favorite?
I love how you're like, you don't want to anger them. Just let them decide it. I'm going to be the one to go out there. Yeah, Beastie. French can be powerful in Dry Arabia, but MarineLorD, the new era, the Abbasid reigns supreme here. And in fairness, BC has picked French against the not only French in-game quite often player, like the best French player, a lot of people say, but also the best French player in real life too here in Age of Empires 4. So kind of a double whammy there. That's my take. Very, very much a play-by-play take, as you can tell. He's French and French, so he understands the French.
Okay. You have to understand the to beat the.
By the way, yeah, it's like you must understand your enemy to defeat your enemy. We're very kind of Sun Tzu here. I know, like I didn't think I'd get an opportunity to quote Sun Tzu today, but there we go. I probably butchered one of his statements. That's probably not what it says in the book, but you know what? The only thing I read is subtitles. So, I believe we have a color switch up that needs to occur, as I believe BC is playing as the French in blue, which is appropriate, by the way. That's historically accurate. You can't be red.
Okay. Well, that's fitting. But Beastie is at the left-hand side. So that could be a bit confusing for you guys. But now, on the right-hand side...
Oh, look at that.
I think now it's proper.
That's the beauty right there.
Yeah, that's what we did with N4C as well, multiple times, just to get some chat activation, to test if they're still awake, if they're actually watching, if they're actually using the overlay, right? Because it would be really bad for us if we did all the work with the overlay, and then no one would complain if it's wrong. That just means they are ignoring it anyways. So this is for chat activation and direct feedback to us.
Also, if you want to give a big... I'm going to give a big shout out to Lidicor because he's been doing the observer work behind. If you want to show support, Twitch offers an opportunity to do that. T-Tours is the way that you show an observer you love what they're doing. It's very important. Every time that Lidicor does anything, you just need to let him know via T-Tours that you love him. Okay. Because we do love him. He provides us the ability to kick back. I don't know about you. I'm just sitting back in my chair. It's easy peasy right now. We just get to talk because there's plenty to talk about here. Like this matchup, MarineLorD. A player that everyone would have expected to be the biggest winner right back at M4C. Beastyqt, the one who claimed the crown. And here, you know, we finally get them back up against each other. This was the grand final that a lot of people were kind of expecting to a certain degree. But now we're going to kind of get it, but in a best-of-5 format here.
And obviously with less diverse maps. It's more the maps that are hyper-aggressive, that are really showing off who has the better micro, macro. Those are the really intense maps where we feel MarineLorD should even shine more because if I see his micro, if I see his unit control, it's just a beauty and so enjoyable.
That's the thing, right? Like MLorD, he's kind of known for his micro. But actually, if you remember, when I believe he's in one of your interviews, he talked about, like, he sees himself as a player. I think it was when he done the interview with Demuslim, actually. He said that he sees himself as a player like he's a percentage player. If he gets, like, a 3, 4, 5% advantage, he thinks he can snowball that over time, right? He escalates it slowly. That's interesting because what is the way that Beastie gets described? Methodical, calculated. Both of these players essentially playing kind of a similar style of Age of Empires 4 is what should make this really hype to watch, because it's kind of almost going to feel like mirror playstyles without the mirror matchup of Civs.
Oh, maybe we will see some repeats with Switch Civilizations. Just imagine MarineLorD next game picking French and Beastyqt, the Abbasid, and then we can see the different approaches, which could be similar with the way how we view those. Still quite some nice harassment here with the two scouts.
This is so annoying. This is actually so annoying when this happens like this. Like, good players on the scout harassment, like, they understand that when they're up against a Civ like the Abbasids, they don't really have much choice to make, right? They're not going to be playing pro scouts. They're going to be running out to do, like, a weird TC expansion far away from base. It's like, your scouts are best served literally doing this in your opponent's base right now. There's nothing else for them to do. And the cool thing is you keep them close enough that you can snitch on their transition and then prep yours before they arrive in your base. I'm a really big fan of scouting, and that's why I kind of get excited when you get craft on craft players, because they have been leading the way when it comes to vision games in Age of Empires 4.
Yeah, absolutely. Just so much into it. But the way MarineLorD, Spearman opening without any real upgrades, and also an archer range, tricky.
An
Tower?
outpost going down here. That's bold. When have you... It's so beasty, actually. When have you ever seen the French do an outpost rush? And now he uses it to bait him into building his own outpost and brings out the knight. And clubs one
It's a
down.
Dark Edge Spearman only. It's not enough. One knight will kill this.
Yeah, he's fine. And then he can just raid these villages. Also, he's continuing the construction. I can't believe this. Beasty, he was saying the other day he wanted to see more Mongol outpost rushes. Not content with the amount we've been seeing the last few days. He's like, I must see a French outpost rush instead.
Oh, that's so good for him. And now he will kill the mining camp, can easily kill the mill as well. While we see the villagers being pushed away from the fast berries, this is a great opening for Beastyqt.
This is phenomenal. Like, I wouldn't really... You wouldn't expect this, right? We talked about this concept of making strats that aren't expected. Like, are they efficient long-term? These type of ones, probably not. I couldn't see this working out, like, that well out of 100 games. But, yeah, this is what he's forced to. How crippling is this for an Arbiter player? When was the last time we watched an Arbiter player drop farms at this point in the game? They always do this. They want the berries.
Last time was like November or something, when people had no idea how this game actually works.
Yeah, and they were playing on like Boulder Bay where they just stonewalled themselves in, right? You don't actually have that option here. I mean, you could wall, but it's going to take you a little while. You're going to create a great wall of MarineLorD if you actually want to enclose yourself.
Oh, that's an ambitious outpost again, but, well, still not a lot of army out. As we can see, one spearman, 2 archers. That's not too threatening against the knights. Out of line of sight.
Oh, wow. It's a little bit tight there. Maybe because remember sometimes like the observer vision's a bit funky, so he might just about glimpse it now.
Oh, okay.
But is he going to be quick enough is the real question here. Like, he does see it, so he's shifting across now. But he's a little bit hesitant. Only 1 spear, second one coming in. He has to delay that, but no, he gets stabbed in the back by the knight. Heavy damage done. Remember, the French knights, they get bonus damage after their charge as well, so you have to be ready to brace, and the villager is going to be sniped. Raid in from the other side, though. She peels him back. The spearman out of position means he can actually snipe onto the villager line, instead prioritizing the archers, though. And it means the garrison is going to come out. But still will be able to snipe a few here. There's way too many villagers out here, but decides not to risk it for the biscuit with only 1 knight in the fold.
Beastyqt lost, I think, 1 unit this game so far, and that's the forward villager. All the scouts, all the knights were saved. Pretty beautiful micro, lots of aggression, and he has full control over the Abyssal player, who is far away from ever adding a second town center.
This is like really interesting when you think about the theory behind it, because you as the French build villagers quicker, right? So you can actually afford to throw away 1 or 2 villagers attempting this in early game. It doesn't necessarily cripple you or put you behind. And the cool thing is if he achieves this goal that he did in the north, he actually invalidates the ability to TC boom as the Arbicids because you can't easily reach your stone line without being raided. Speaking of which, raided again. Heavy damage coming in. Will club 1 down and able to retreat away as the spearmen are far away to the south because MarineLorD was forced to move away from his initial berry line so quick.
Chivalry and siege engineers. Beastyqt is going full feudal age all in here. He wants to heal up his knights. He wants to go for some rams, go for some aggression. This will be tricky for MarineLorD. It's important that he does not stop producing army.
Yeah, I believe the term I'm looking for is full ham right now, although, you know, replace that ham with horse meat, because there's a lot of cavalry riding forward. Like, he's reaching his timings. The interesting part about this as well is, like, Beasty, he's kind of playing MarineLorD his own game. Although he's not playing, like, this super loose formation of 3 different knight groups, he's playing 2 or 3 different knight groups in the same screen space. It's actually really impressive the way he's min-maxing and always weaving between these spearmen that are being outposted in a position to defend by MarineLorD.
Yeah, absolutely. And that makes it tricky, right? MarineLorD, he's trying to make something happen. Interesting scout placement here. Tries to hug the... Is he trying to talk to the tree?
Oh, yeah, good. Ah, yes, the classic tree whisperer. Hey, can you move to the north so that I have my base protected? Because my 2 wood lines are a little bit too close, and it means that I'm getting raided from the north. Thanks.
Maybe he was watching some Game of Thrones.
Oh, he's dead. He's so dead.
On H3O.
I mean, this is Ned Stark form, right? Doesn't even survive the first season. Bye. Oh, no. Did I spoil that for someone who's living in 10 years in the past and hasn't caught it yet. Whoopsie. But yeah, like the Rams are going up. Yeah, you're welcome. I saved you time, buddy. But no, now he just moves across, and this distracts. Like, the Camel Archers are coming out. This is decent, but, like, I don't know if it's going to be good enough. Just because the Archers are in position, the Rams already built. In theory, actually, Camel Archers are really good against the French because that Camel on Ease affects their entire damage. It's something I've talked about a lot in the past. I don't think Camel on Ease is that good against Horsemen because it doesn't affect the bonus damage of units. It's kind of crazy, right? Because it means you're not reducing the damage, the effective damage of a unit by 20%. It's more like 10%. But against Knights, they don't get bonus damage against a specific unit. They just have raw damage that you're reducing by 20%.
Okay. Well, quite some interesting facts there for sure. Scout on the ambitious side. And now we see the barracks under quite some threat. Spearmen will still pop out. Some armies getting pulled. Archers are moving back. And it feels like MarineLorD has enough army to chase this one away.
Yeah, and the Rams abandoned in the field. Didn't even complete the second, but look what he does. He wraps on the north side. He knows he wants the stone so badly, but he's too late. Outpost goes up in time. Wrapping around, he's looking at the Archers. Going to force the Spearman back here. Keeps the Ram alive. Needs to pull a Villager forward if he wants to ever repair this, though. Baits him in. Archer's now looking for the trade. Camel Archer is arriving. That's going to reduce the damage to all these Knights, and the Knights do not even have their charge in. They've got the swords out. They're going to engage. One of them gets trapped instantly, trying to wrap around the backside to stick on top of the Archers. Spear's being targeted in the meantime by Beastyqt, but the trade is going the way of MarineLorD. A lot of French Knights going down. 240 resource power. This is a heavy hit into Beastie's composition.
Wow, and that's something beautiful by MarineLorD there. How he controlled those Knights and how he zoned them out. The Archers were completely killing the Archers of Beastyqt, and then the Spearmen did the rest of the work. What a brilliant engagement by MarineLorD, and he's holding on.
Yeah, it's kind of proving why French play this different style, the death by 1,000 cuts, right? They don't usually go for this emphatic push at the 10-minute mark, and now we see exactly why. It forces you into an inefficient fight, because if your French Knights are countered, they have no wiggle room. Imagine the situation right now if Beastie went around the back to that berry line, right? The MarineLorD probably has 10 people on at this stage. He would have killed villages. He would have delayed economy. Instead, he stunts his own economy, because now he's going to have to replace all those lost units. And they are 240 resources each, which is no small feat. Speaking
How
of
did that
this,
Archer see the villager there?
I'm wondering.
Sneaky Bill. Chopped
Maybe
himself through.
Did he just suspect? Yeah, that's why. So he saw him cutting the tree. That would make sense, yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, no, please. I didn't want to do this. Beastie told me to. Quick walls to try and run away, but he's dead. There's no way out of this now. And he doesn't even spot this either. Wow, the lack of vision. He's not going to see the second TC going up. MarineLorD is starting to get online.
Okay, Knights are coming in though. Archers here, relatively unprotected. The Spearmen a bit out of position.
The paranoia, though. He wasn't sure. He didn't go instantly in, get the charge out because he wouldn't have seen them. He wraps by. The Scout gives the vision straight onto the TC, and he may be able to deny this. Shiv's out. They're forced to fight, but these Knights hit hard. Do they hit fast enough is the question, though. Spear's gap closed, and they will pad it. So TC will go up, but that little Villy, the little villager who could, he's still alive, and he's running a marathon for his life now.
Oh, so funny there with the tree on his back, and Knights, they're trying to get away, but honestly, they didn't find the damage that they were looking for. Maybe 1-2 villager kills only. Doesn't feel like enough.
Little Francis there is like, I have wood. I must return it to base. I cannot die out here. The economical impact of my death on this 2 wood I'm carrying, it would be just crippling to the French economy. So that villager will survive as he retreats to the north all the way out past the upgrade outpost. And Archers in the field now. Ram across on to this expansion on the stone outcropping, but value already found. Remember, MarineLorD not only extracted enough stone for 1 TC, he's got enough for 2.
Okay, pretty solid job then. Let's take a look. Still not on gold, MarineLorD. I thought this is the moment where you can think about castling.
No, I
this
think...
is a safe gold in the back?
I think this is vegetarian MarineLorD. Like, something we kind of didn't even mention is how absurd that berry bush spawn is, right? Look at it. Look at it. Yeah. Look straight into the eyes of glorious Beastyqt as there is double berry patch between with room for a TC between it. This is like the opposite dream right now.
Yeah, very nice.
Very tacular. And now, looks like Beast is going to be forced away again. The defense force is building up, and that's all because of the berries as well. He's able to afford so many units because that efficient 30% increased gathering rate on the bushes. Not to mention the fact you double them up with the mills. Oh my god, what?
Beastyqt, what?
We're so
Not a single
distracted.
farm.
I literally looked at the map. Lidicore had the same feeling. We look back and there's 3 TCs from Beasty. He's like, okay, I can't win this game in 10 minutes. I guess I'm just going to eco boom.
Okay, and he was heavily on stone. I thought he was thinking about the keep, but apparently that's not really how he envisioned his future. I will find some kills here, but that's still quite an interesting move. Didn't even get 1k stone, so most of that in emplacements and the double town center. But that's still quite a push.
Yeah, the half-truths of Beasty. I've heard him explain to people before that 2 TC French is a bait. Now I get the full picture. It turns out 3 TC French isn't the bait. You have to go full, not half. The problem is MarineLorD is pushing in, and he is the opposite, so he can build Ram straight away. But in the meantime, throwing Molotovs at the outposts. Harris, the upgrade almost ready. This Ram just here to just say, guys, I'm here, hello. Attack me. Don't attack the units that can attack. But it looks like the focus fire comes out. Villagers need to go for the emergency repairs. They tap straight back in the outpost. For the moment, MarineLorD is keeping the fight in his favor. However, over time, this army is going to be depleted, and he's still being raided, as it looks like there's a wraparound into the back of MarineLorD's space onto his expansion TC, and his goal line is being sniped.
Oh, that's a nice raid, though. But some archers are dying, not the greatest positioning. And all the spearmen died at the front, so 1-2 knights potentially could do quite a bit, and that tower found quite some kills.
Most definitely. I mean, that outpost MVP right now stays alive as well, keeps 4 of the 5 villages, and it means when we look at the village count now, Beasty is 5 ahead. And remember, this escalates quicker. It's not just 3 TCs. It's 3 TCs in a bit, because he's producing villages every, 17 seconds? Compared to the normie 20 seconds that MarineLorD has on only 2 TCs.
Absolutely crazy how Beastyqt can
ridiculous.
come up to reasonable numbers. There's still not a single farm, though, so he will need to get a bit higher on that count. Still going for the deer. Has one deer patch further at the top. Obviously, his archers are getting cleared up. And both players floating quite some resources. Feels like Beastyqt should get to Castle Age a bit quicker.
Yeah, he's zooming ahead. And the cool thing he's doing is he's playing classic French, right? Not classical age, but like classic French from release, where you just move out onto all these pocket ecos and you be a greedy boy. He doesn't want to make the farm transition because it slows him down. And he understands that because MarineLorD's gone for an archer composition, he doesn't have raiding potential to go and find these pocket ecos. Even if he did, it's 3 TCs. You don't care. The French peasantry are just expendable in this situation.
Okay, what up? I'm scratching my head now.
Well, we're trying
is
to think win
Beastyqt
conditions.
approaching this after this? Because look at the military.
Oh.
37 against 9. Yeah,
But look what's slowing down.
knights
They're
are
in.
doing good job here. But I think we need to
MarineLorD.
go into men-at-arms if we are French here.
Yeah, it could be a good play. Like, it's efficient, right, at this stage because your opponent's playing static army. But also, now look at the info Beasty just got with 2 knights. He breaches in, he forces garrisons stagnating your economy, but now he knows your 3 TCs. And he's going to feel confident about what he's done here because he done it so much quicker than you did because you haven't even spotted it. I don't think MarineLorD has still actually eyeballed these double TCs at the back of his opponent's base. He might feel that this is happening, but he doesn't know it.
And he has to be happy because he killed villagers at the gold as well, right? So he thinks, okay, 3 TCs, even if you play 2 TCs, I'm slightly ahead now. But actually, you're 10 villagers behind MarineLorD, something he won't expect. Still the big question, will archers plus knights be enough against this feudal age army here of MarineLorD?
It looks like he should have enough time. Like, MLord is wasting his time on this expansion just to get rid of the outpost. So this is delaying his timing. And MLord wants to go now. Look at his wood count. Like, he was looking for 2 or 3 rams to do some serious damage here. But it's going to be difficult to get in quick enough before the initial units come out after BC has completed this castle age.
The first farms are being added stone here at
Wait,
the
what?
side. Beastyqt ideally wants to go for...
Oh, that's
what
not
did he
enough.
see?
He wants a keep. He wants a keep, but he hasn't got enough stone there.
By 200.
Yeah.
Goes for the stone at the bottom.
Because this could completely stun his opponent, right? Like, doing a defensive keep as France isn't that bad because you get the discounts on your archer ranges and stables as well. So it has added benefit where other civs, when they do this, it's like, please don't kill me. Like, go away type move. Instead, the French are like, I've just made my economy much more efficient. I'm getting better bang for buck with my discounts.
Okay, game slowed down a bit. Let's take a look at the guild hall and see what resources we are collecting here. I think gold could make a lot of sense, stone could make
Probably
a lot of
food.
sense, and we are on gold here for Beastyqt. Although he has quite some gold in the bank right now.
Yeah, he's just parking himself, right? So he has flexibility. I think like every point in the next few minutes of this game relies on gold. Like he can either go Knights or he can go into Siege. Because he has to be aware he's up against the Abbasids, so trying to match their siege count might be difficult. But luckily for him, like, MarineLorD, he's been locked in Feudal so long, he hasn't even reached that creep point, but it's coming. He invests all the wood. Look at it. About 1,000 wood spent on this district. He wants to reach critical mass quick.
Oh, that's a crazy amount. If he goes wild there, and he has the solid economy, right? He has 82 villagers. That is nice. And Beastyqt, he needs to go for something different than Arbaletier and Knights.
Yeah,
I
it's
think
so
he
slow.
needs either Siege or the big man-at-arms switch.
I actually kind of like Arbaletier and Horseman, weirdly. I know it sounds creepy, but it's so weird. But like the Horsemen deal with the siege pretty well, and the Arbaletiers can trade with like range units. Yes, the Spearmen is still a problem, which we know the Arbiters like to build because the Phalanx tech allows double the amount of units to attack in melee. But I think like for the moment, it's good to force your opponent to like transition hard into spears, and then you can react. Like he's got double archery range right now, and I feel like he is going to go hard into an archer composition here.
Look at all those resources for MarineLorD as well. His macro is actually not that on point, I have to say, right? He only built those 7 barracks with like 3 villagers. Could have been a bit more. Now goes for the big stone walls. As we all know, forbidden in Feudal Age, but allowed in Castle Age.
Yes, as the walls will be broken and he wants to break out. But the Knights have been trying to get in this whole time. Just no value for Beastie, though. It's just hard now. Your opponent is boxed in. Upgrades come through. Veterancy achieved with all the Spearmen. And that Spearman count is escalating quickly. So now that Beastie sees this, look what he does. He actually got him to bait ahead of time. He didn't have to invest in a Horseman to get him there. Now Beastie can go into the Archers, and they'll actually have value in Castle Age. Not something we get to say often in Age of Empires 4.
Yeah. Well, Spearmen are sometimes mixed in. Certainly numbers are big enough that even if you upgrade them, you will find some damage here. And MarineLorD floating quite some food now. Good for him that he got all the wood on the map. Still floating a lot of resources. I'm not liking the macro of MarineLorD right now.
It feels like he's waiting to see information, right? Like this is a typical play you make when you want your opponent to blink first, like show their transition so you can react. The problem is he's not in a position to force that reveal. Like his scouting vision isn't there. In fact, if you look at it, MarineLorD, I don't think he even has a scout out anymore. So he's not getting info, he's getting raided in his base, and he's going to be forced into a fight near a keep. So once again, information being denied and BC revealing to show his hand of what's coming next.
Okay, but how do you get that information? Maybe build a scout.
Yeah,
Maybe send some units around. Because this one is just wasting time. You have a crazy army advantage now. Look at that, 74 against 33. And MarineLorD is not really using it.
Yeah, so from what I've heard, like this unit called a scout tends to be really good for scouting. I mean, I might be wrong, but I've heard it's a really good unit for seeing things. They would be nice right now, wouldn't they?
Yeah, if that's true, it's a really fitting name.
It's very smart of them. Like, night, that doesn't make sense. What, they only come out at night? This is daytime right now. But scouts, like, I can get behind that. It makes sense to me. And it doesn't make sense to me that, like, he's not playing with it. Because he has a static army. He's gone into the north, and it means that all raids are still coming in. And now the walls are going up. So Beastyqt is trying to eliminate the options to the north and making it undesirable to be up here. But he might be late to do so. MarineLorD getting in good position here, but it is risky. It means he's going to be far out of position if this backfires.
Only one Mangonel, triple Springled, not the craziest siege amount either. And yeah, it's funny how the Fog of War works.
Yeah, don't you just love how there's no noise all of a sudden? Like, surely you'd hear this coming, right? I love that. But MarineLorD, he just sidesteps. He's like, okay, you didn't get the walls up in time. Straight into the economy lines. Looking for value here, just as the wood is finally being extracted. Last trees falling as we speak. Garrison's going to be forced out, and it looks like BC needs to respond, but he can cut his opponent off here. He's been building Springles. It's only one Mangonel and a lot of Spearmen here.
Meanwhile, night raids are still continuing. That means some Spearmen have to be at home, can't be at the front, and Beastyqt, he's maxing out as well. Springles engagement already better for him.
Yep, MarineLorD was looking the wrong way. It looks like his Springles had already decided they wanted to retreat as they were turned away from their opponents there, and now the walling means that MarineLorD's stuck here. And he's capped. He can't actually build much more. You can see it, right? Like, his pop cap is reached. Beastyqt, in the meantime, because he has a bigger economy, he can actually throw away more costly units for the good trades. Here we go. Moving in.
Focusing down on the Rams, not the most important thing. Springles in the back needs to be addressed. Now Beastyqt is going for the big clear up.
Yep, chase in. Knights bait in the Spearmen, and now the Archers will arrive to trade that out. Backs off just in time. The Knights are going to easily be able to wrap around this. The Springal's really making the difference. And these Rams pricey at 300 wood, they're doing nothing. They're presentation Rams. It's a flaunt. It's a parade for the military force of MarineLorD, but it is not ready to fight a war here. Even the shivs coming out for the villagers, that they just want to take back their land. MarineLorD's army is going to be wiped.
Beastyqt over booming here, 140 villagers, so actually makes sense to throw some of them away if he was thinking that way, and gets a beautiful clear up. Now a solid 20 population ahead, still has quite some map control, 3 relics for himself as well, setting himself up quite nicely. And we often said that if it goes to the hyper late game, lots of people think Beastyqt might be the best in the world.
Yeah, he's really methodical. And I mean, it's just so... Like, you saw how methodical he was with that boxing, right? Like, his opponent goes by, he knows he went by that stone wall construct. What does he do? He goes and finishes it off and says, you think I'm trapped in here with you? But you're trapped in here with me, right? And he just wipes the army. And MarineLorD, because of that, has instantly lost all control of the midfield. Look at his standing army. They're all back in his base. So BC has relieved all pressure, and he didn't even complete the enclosure.
Still, overbooming continues, 147 villagers already, and I think we need a bigger switch away from wood towards food. Look at the income, 2.7k versus 900. He ideally would like to see that one switched, simply because most of his units cost food quite heavily. More sprinkles in the front, but keep will go up, so I don't see Beastyqt achieving too much here.
Yeah, I would like to see more food here, but like for the moment it's fine. Like he's getting rid of that important resource in the center. And I think the cool thing about this keep that he established early on, he can build a full military district, and then this eco count of 150 doesn't hurt him. Because if he has buildings close to the front, he can insta-replace the units in the fight. Something that really doesn't have. Oh my, what?
Was it a misclick? Is this unit a real thing?
Usually it's a misclick or a misbrain, but MarineLorD has a big brain, so I'm not sure right now. I don't think it's been built to counter out the priests. I'll say that much. I know, great analysis there, but an interesting choice considering BC only has a small contingent of knights, and as we said, he only has room for 50 military units. So while knights are a good quality unit, he's more interested in arbaletriers and archers. You can see it actually in the numbers. He only has 4 knights. So I'm really confused as to what these camel riders are meant to counter.
Oh, he maybe was expecting more of those knights, and yeah, it's a weird
He's gonna get more of those knights.
Oh, it takes a good engagement against them.
Yeah, he's gonna get some decent damage out, but like the artilleries and the archers just make it too trivial. The weakness of the camel riders is they have like no missile resistance, right? So although they have a big health pool, they don't have good EHP and Beastyqt. What in the name of French is this? My land! I want this land too! Staking his claim.
Yeah, this guy is just so crazy.
This is fitting to
history.
history.
Plays.
This is actually fitting to history about 100 years early, though, or more. Because, you know, remember, like, the French and the Brits did carve up the Middle East after World War I. He's just jumped the timeline here as he's taking away all the opposite territories. Like, this is mine, this is mine, this is all mine. Oh, no. And now the Trebs are coming out, so he does have an answer to the keep, but... Yeah, this is getting a little bit weird. Like, I feel like MarineLorD is running out of room very quickly. He's kind of created his own tomb with all these palisade walls, and he doesn't have a way of breaking out easily.
And, oh, now we go for the Red Palace. Nice choice there. Gives him great control over that left-hand side area. And now another attack at the top. Just feels like Beastyqt overboomed. And, yeah, he's getting a lot of resource, and we are not fighting. So right now it's not a big problem. But eventually, army count won't be high enough with only 58.
The interesting part is that Beastyqt is about to reach Imperial Age, and I'm pretty sure the Crusades finished a few hundred years before this. So, really screwing with my perspective on history here, but go for it, because he's really just taking the opposite's lands away from them. And the villagers are forced to burn down this outpost, but it's so much idle time to get so little room. And that's the really bigger problem here, because Beasty's already taken stone as well. This is what over-ecoing gets you, folks. Everything on the map is yours now.
Idle villagers there at the top, and
he hasn't even noticed them.
Oh.
Now, one of these villages is not like the other. 4 of these villages is not like the other. But we're colorblind here in the Age of Empires 4 world, so I don't know what the difference is.
No border, no nation.
One people. Oh, and Arbaletriers in the meantime forcing him back. In this choke point, Knights will be denied, but it's just more ground gain. Like, Beasty is throwing away units, and instantly the pop cap's going to replace them. He's got too much economy, and he has the tech up. Like, MarineLorD did match him on this and managed to catch up, but MarineLorD now needs to get out of his base.
Who has the better late imp? Is it French? Is it Abbasid?
I feel like
Both
it's
not crazy,
French.
right?
Like, so I like the French because they do have the potential of, like, the Knights. They get ridiculously tanky, right? Do a lot of damage. And then there's the Arbitrators. But that being said, Abbasid's, like, late game Spearman Abbasid's is no joke. They are ridiculously effective units because also the Abyssids get access to the extra 15% health, right? Then they can also potentially go into the trade wing if this goes hyper late and they get enough of the map. So I think that's why Beasty's ramping up the pressure. He doesn't want to arrive in that point where the entire map is drained and his opponent is just doing trade wing.
Oh, yeah, that's so true. And right-hand side, it's a pretty solid trade push there, so that could work. Maybe let's take a look at the guild hall of Beastyqt. Could get quite some reasonable gold amount there if he didn't use it yet. And it's at 40, so just used.
Yep, he's milking it now. You can see he was depleted pretty heavily, but he's starting to access the back lines. However, there's nothing here. MarineLorD's shifted it elsewhere now. It's like, well, there's barely any resource in the back corner. I was going to leave that as a reserve. And so many walls. Like, right now, this is just turning into the MarineLorD labyrinth at this stage with the amount of walls going down.
Cannons now around as well. Springel's helping out quite a bit as well. And it just feels like Beastyqt allows himself to raid MarineLorD everywhere now.
It's the quality over quantity, right? Like, that's the argument here. MarineLorD has to build trebs because of his limitations. He's getting 200 gold per minute. Beastyqt is almost breaking the 2k gold a minute mark, and that's why he has cannons. He can afford them. His opponent is counterfeited right now. However, throwing him away like this, not desirable.
Well, Ripperino, those cannons. And now we are seeing all the upgrades. Elite Royal Knights coming in. You also see the biology here from the French player. And that's going to be quite some great raiding unit. Obviously loses against Mass Spearman. Now another keep here. And MarineLorD trying to get a better foothold. But that's another area that he will control that does not have gold.
Yeah, well, his opponent's already there with a red palace, right? So the gold is already being tapped pretty heavily. If this turns into a gold drain, Beastyqt clearly has the lead right now. And he is racing to get through this gold vein as quickly as possible. Meanwhile, in the south, like, more raids just getting ready to come in. They're going to have to make their way through the dangerous labyrinth to get in. But the good news for them is that MarineLorD's entire army is stationed in the north, taking trades against the Springles, and it's working out favorably. And remember that MarineLorD, as long as he has the required amount of gold, can instantly replace this in the field, and Beasty cannot. But Beasty, he's looking for different targets, more squishy ones, as the Knights are going to start to breach. And with that Royal Bloodlines, they are a ridiculously tanky force to deal with.
MarineLorD goes for more Springles and more Spearmen. Kind of his only units that he's really going for. Nice for a very one-dimensional fight, but still tough to deal with all those raids if he's involved.
There aren't Spearmen in these choke points, right? So, like, he's going to force MarineLorD to run all the way back or sacrifice his farmlands at the back. And that's very dangerous for MarineLorD. Like, he can't afford to give this up right now. Like, the Knights are breaching in. Spearmen trying to react to them, but they break through. And they should just split up to look for clues, because these villagers, although they have textiles, these are elite Royal Knights. They dish out the damage quick.
Oh, some dancing there. Horseman wants to get in the action. Okay, gets there.
Just wiggling past.
Spearmen are dealing with it. Now is the fight in the center potentially with all the Springles. Yeah, MarineLorD not really finding great fights.
No, but like, at the same time, he's not losing anything big, right? That wasn't a good enough raid for a 240 resource unit each. And he didn't peel off the main army because he has two different armies now. And the funny part is MarineLorD could stop this from happening at any stage if he just stonewalls. But he still won't stonewall. But he will find a butcher in if he's quick here. Not able to stick on top of them. The villagers will shuffle away pretty fast here, and it means he misses the opportunity to snipe out a bunch of them.
Are we tier 3, by the way? That would be really nice for him when it comes
Golden
to...
Age.
Oh, look at that.
He should be, right? There's no... Yeah, there. Oh, look at that. Everything you've ever wanted. Although he has not got the tech upgrade. Yeah, no 15% additional health just yet. He doesn't like his Spearmen much. He likes them dying.
Yeah, and also, like, gather rate could be way better. Like, his economy could be so much better here for MarineLorD. Not really going it. Apparently doesn't have enough gold to afford those upgrades.
Yeah, that's the problem, right? Like, he keeps trading out his Springles with his opponent, but his opponent is coming out ahead because he's gaining, like, twice the amount of gold at any stage. And he continues these raids, and these raids get dangerous because MarineLorD, as he moves further from his base, he's getting stretched further and further across the map. And he still has these gaps in his lines because he can't fill them due to Beastyqt's walls here earlier. And it causes problems
raid at
everywhere.
the top is coming in here, and that should be a lot of dead villagers. MarineLorD again with a beautiful reaction, but can't really address all those horsemen.
And now they're not gathering, right? Like, he needs everything he can get. He's trying to build up surplus wood, and he's going to try to wall himself in. He's creating a safety zone. But you need to be in the safety zone. Oh, no.
Is he trying to save them?
He's, like, maybe he's trying to negotiate a peace treaty where he gets that piece of land at the end of all this, because it's not protecting anyone. He's making the gate now, but how many are going to be dead? Meanwhile, a raid underneath his primary TC, damage being done. MarineLorD now falling underneath the 100 eco mark and losing them fast. Meanwhile, Beasty still stable at 120. The damage is starting to come in, and it is forcing MarineLorD to respond on multiple fronts, meaning he's not gaining any ground again.
He saved 2 villagers there with 3 HP each.
God bless.
At the top. Oh, there's so much work. But okay, they can still restart a new empire.
They've created their own prison war. No, they came out. What? They're like, guys, we have this safe point in case we get Okay, we've got to move to the safe point. We probably should have just built a safe point where we are. And, well, the Knights will pay a price in the end, maybe, but it's just like, look how long you spend chasing these. In fact, if anything, BC could kill on the siege weapons right now. It's just the awkward dance. But he doesn't want siege. He wants more villages. They've got their shivs out. They've had enough of this crap. But they're starting to feel the pain. The sting of it is 86 villages remaining for MarineLorD, and Beastyqt now up at 127. The lead is building.
And Beastyqt, look at his resources. He can continue with that for quite some time. Also, he has the relic advantage. Would love to see him try to get the 3rd capture sacred site at the top. But
that's the one contested one, right? Yeah, like the other ones are kind of safe. Like, MarineLorD is too slow. His army is static, so he can't move to the south. So he can only fight in the north, and he's still dancing. He's doing the Benny Hills in his own base right now, right? Like, he can never catch up. The issue with this is, like, this is where MarineLorD shows the weakness of the Civ. He needs a decisive fight, but Beastyqt will not give it to him. He will continue these raids till the end of time. And here it is, MarineLorD. This is his one option. He needs to safeguard this marketplace structure. He needs to escalate his gold and wood, and then he just needs to build a big siege army and punch his way straight through Beasty's defenses. He can't afford to keep doing this.
We did not go up with Trade Wing, right?
I don't think so, but you can go back and get him. Oh, Mangonel shots. Not good enough. That was very underwhelming rocks being pebbled.
Still disengaging now, tries to go for the Red Palace, and
he spotted
now
as well.
Beastyqt sees all that. And that's 50 exposed villagers. Lots of them should die.
He doesn't care, though. Like, even if he doesn't kill the villagers, he now knows what his opponent is doing here. He's like, I see, you want to trade, little lad. I'll be back for this later.
Look at MarineLorD stop wooden count. He has no wood and loses so many spearmen while retreating.
Yep, they cost wood as well, folks. 200 wood a minute right now. He's going to try to fix that as he moves the entire force from his base to just try and tap at the wood. But there's barely any wood up there. What's happening is Beasty is handling MarineLorD as the French. His specialist Civ is being used against him to open up this best of 5.
Look at Beastyqt's resources.
Yeah, he's a greedy
He
boy.
can just go for wild switches.
This is what BC still is doing. You said, like, you know, he loves going late, and he understands in late game on Dry Arabia, resources is all that matters. Just drain the map dry. And he's even taking fights against his counter now because his knights are so tanky. And MarineLorD, if he doesn't show up with his entire army, he's going to be weak. And he still hasn't got that trade wing. So he's not even getting the full benefits of trade yet. Magos, going to be chased on too. They have to retreat further away. Villagers getting a new outpost down. And the knights are waiting. And if they force a fight in the choke point. There it is.
Giving them some goodbye shots. 9 minutes, 40 seconds to go. 3 sacred sites controlled. I think MarineLorD can easily retake the one at the top, so I don't really think this is the winning condition. But just puts another threat into MarineLorD's head for sure.
Yeah, it forces MarineLorD to come out now, right? And you have Mangonels. So, like, how does he approach this fight? Like, BC has so much economy, he can literally just use the knights as a front line against spears. Because all he needs is Mangonel shots. That's the scary part about this. Like, this is how dominant his economy is. It's a throwaway unit. I can't believe I'm saying that of a unit that costs 240 resources to build. But it really is.
Oh, this economy, certainly it feels reasonable. Spring gold count at 9 for Beastyqt. Only 2 traps though, so not the easiest job in killing a lot of buildings, but just chips away on units. And I wonder what do you expect is the KD in this game? Who's ahead?
Beastyqt has to be like, I'd say 1.8. Nah, that's a bit high actually. Maybe like 1.4, 1.5 in terms of like his KDA, right? Like ahead. Because I feel like he's getting decent trades, but of course his units are more pricey. This is all, like, don't go and do this in your pub games, folks. This is all enabled by, unless you want to do free TCs, right? That's the condition. You have to have an economy this big to get away with this.
Oh, I already see it happening. I queue up for the next 4v4, my pocket, French, and he said like, Beastyqt also played 3TC and just lets me die 2v1.
And then you go with the classic, are you Beastyqt? And then you find out it actually is one of his Smurfs. Whoops.
Ah.
That's how they catch
And then
you.
he posted on YouTube how I let Nili die.
And then still won the game. Oh, you have to complete the story like that.
Payback for his speech.
There, got him. Ruined my victory moment, made sure he never had one. Magos, woohoo! Nice sidestep. However, there's so many villages here. I think the key might still get to constructors. It's going to be a little bit tight. But with the assist of the outpost, the Mangonel's firing, I think this army's going to be thrown away by MarineLorD. The frustration has really set in. He's just committing, and this is going to be a heavy hit. One that's going to be hard to replace. He needs time now, as he's losing more ground. And the raids continue his base as well. The French Knights have found their way into the farmland once more, as it looks like the remainder of the Spearman Battalion are going to be cleaned up. They at least trade out some siege, but the real trades are happening in his base, as the eco count will begin to shrink further for MarineLorD, while BC maintains that 115 eco lead.
And we see a unit, 3 of them on the field, 4 of them on the field, and instantly, therefore, triggering the GG.
Yep, you see Revolticans, you call GG. That's the cannon plus 10 more cannons on it. You don't mess with it, I guess. MarineLorD giving it over, though. Understandably, BC just too strong with his never-ending investment banking method as he throws Infinite Knights into the whirlwind and comes out on top.
Well, what a crazy, crazy game, and incredibly well played by Beastyqt. The triple TC play in the mid game, and then MarineLorD. If we could take a look at military count, I think around the 21-minute mark would be nice if Lidakor could show us that.
Lidikor's had a brain aneurysm because he just watched Revolticans.
Look at that. It was 80 military against 40.
You know what the crazy part is? Yeah, I see it. It's like, it's ridiculous because he done this throughout the game. Like, it's the raids. Like, this is the weakness of a static army in an open map, right? This is why French was assumed to be so dominant for this. But, like, the crazy part to me is, like, that GG seems like a meme. Like, it just links up because the Revolticans come out. But actually, Revolticans ruin MarineLorD's army because all he has is spears. So, I'm kind of a little bit upset because I feel like MarineLorD robbed us of the ability to see Revolticans actually look good for the first time in I don't know how long.
Oh, yeah. I would have loved to see them as well with the animatics there as well. And especially like Barbecue Turkman sitting there and like, no, that could have been such a nice thing for a French overview.
All right, so moving into this straight away, I'm thinking ball. I'm just stuck on it. Placement of ball looks bad though, so I don't think we're getting to this game. Okay, that's my final thought on ball. Move on.
Well, one of the that one could be sneaky, and that one could have like the bottom one. The walking distance.
Okay, so I've actually seen this generation in a pub game, and I've seen a player go on that bottom ball in this generation, and he lost the game at like 10 minutes. I do not believe in this ball. This ball right here is cursed. This ball right here, he has swine flu. Do not go near him. Okay?
Okay.
He will kill you. Literally, actually, they're very aggressive.
There's one wild deer spot somewhat in the center.
Did you get Rudford on your fort there? Oh, sorry, we're focused on Pumbaa over here. He's a Disney character, he can't die. But no, so it's like in this matchup,
isn't Han Solo also a Disney character, and he died?
True, but he was old. Pumbaa's a character, like Pumbaa's a cartoon character, so he never ages, right? That's how that works.
What about Bambi's mother?
What about Bambi? Why you gotta bring up my childhood like that? Bambi's mother? Like, damn, we're here, like we've been going several hours, and you gotta turn it like that? I have not enough sheep.
If I want
and
to prove
deer
a point,
died?
I go into deep feeling land. Yeah.
Like, oh yeah. So you care about the that you don't even know her name, right? You just care about one specific deer. Look at all these deers being massacred right now. MarineLorD already 150 bounty.
Mufasa even. Yeah, true. Same movie, and someone dies.
We don't have lines though, so don't have to worry about that.
It's honestly like one of the most tragic things, right, that can happen if someone stops painting a character. Really sad.
Stops painting. Like, what is this? Is this like Mr. Stark, I'm not feeling too good moment? Like, is that the character fading from existence? As they just kind of get de-rendered? I'll tell you what, if you want to see a horror story, let me paint the characters for Disney. That looked terrible.
Okay.
But you know what? Let's focus on the game. Let's draw it in because there's a lot of wolf gathering here. Not really hyenas, but are important nonetheless, as they will give over 25 gold each. And it looks like Beasty is trying to yoink as many of them as possible into the stealth forest. But MarineLorD is there with 2 scouts, so should be able to snipe these on the go.
Let's take a look. Even pulls his 3rd scout here. In total, we even have Beastyqt with 4 scouts. I'm not sure if the overlay is correct
Yes.
there at the top, my friends.
He's like, it's clearly Beasty has gone full. I definitely believe. No, I don't think it is. It's the other way around. MarineLorD is the one with 4 scouts, and Beasty only went for 2. But those 2 are doing a lot of work. That's a lot of wolves dragged away. And MLord up to 235, still a decent bounty at this mark, has some sheep to return, but isn't going to get that critical mass that can propel him towards tier 3 after killing the boars.
Okay, still some nice harassment there. Now fights back. Oh, scout
doesn't trap
maybe
him
stuck in
though.
there.
I think he can get out, but he's not moving away right now. Okay, no, he is actually trapped in there. It's deceitful how it looks, but he's stuck. And he will slowly die. However, it has to be said that this is delaying Beasty from gaining gold.
But MarineLorD misclicked there. Those are 2 very low HP villagers. If you just focused one down, villager had to run, and then he could have freed his scout.
It's the panic, right? Oh no, my scout is stuck. Help. We've all seen
Maybe
how
he was
the
looking
stories
at
end.
the overlay at the same time and was like, what? I thought I built 4 scouts, but I only have 2.
I say 1, 2, oh, no, it's fine. I do have the right amount. Yeah, we fixed that for you now, folks. See, look at that. And now the scout trade's coming out. This is where MarineLorD should have an edge, right? Like, BC's good at it as well, but like this is the thing we highlighted about MarineLorD going into the series. He's really good at the micro. We'll see if it pays off this time. As he's kind of getting trapped in again, but has enough wiggle room to move out as he's keeping the formation of scouts. And this is delaying Beasty. Like, he is teching up, but he's not gaining additional gold right now. He's kind of just idle on this gold line most of the time.
Yeah, quite annoying. Had to pull 2 villagers away as well. Now scout v scout fight. And the question is, what are we actually going for? Because this is pretty to look at, but what are the strategic decisions?
Well, kind of normie for MarineLorD. He's a little bit late on it, but he's going for the Golden Gate. This is actually a very delayed Golden Gate, I feel like. Beasty beat him to Feudal. Usually the Roos are very fast on teching up here. He did admittedly stop off the wheelbarrow. I'm curious to see if he's now going to go to Pro Scouts once he arrives. He doesn't have quite enough gold for it, but he might be tempted to do it considering how close by both of his deer sites are and how others don't play for Pro Scouts at all.
Well, he sold the wood and now can click up if he desires to. We'll get quite some control here, but lots of HP on his scouts. I don't think this will continue for too long.
No, instead it's the archery rangers. So probably no Pro Scouts. I think instead he's going to play pocket economies. And he's going to do similar to what we saw Vortex do today, but it won't be from a proxy base. So it will be exploitable. And there is a way that Beasty can snipe out reinforcements with this format. Oh, right now, sniping out scouts. Straight for trade.
Wait, where did MarineLorD's gold go? Am I confused? Is he going professional scouts?
He might actually be going back for it now. Like, he's got broadside axes.
Oh, what?
Wow. Well, he wants the wood, right? Because
I've never seen that before.
But yeah, I haven't seen it without Wooden Fortress. That's the double broad axe, not broadside axe. Double broad axe without Wooden Fortress is a little bit surprising here because remember, folks, when you have the Wooden Fortress, you get an additional 20% drop off. Just fabricated out of thin air. They somehow, I don't know, make 20% more trees. So it's really beneficial. And I feel like it actually is better than the increased gather rate, right? Like I think the numbers work out for Wooden Fortress to be more beneficial.
Yeah, thanks as well. Also, it's cheaper, right? Plus, it gives you the option to go for professional scouts if you wanted to when it comes to gold. Plus, at this point, he could really spare the wood because he was floating it. Now, obviously, he had the stable and the archery range, so put it on the map. But certainly a decision that we didn't expect.
Yeah, it's something we see very situationally. Some players love to get like either the picks or the axes. I think the axe is the more acceptable one. Sometimes we see the food gather rate as well. I do think mining is the least used one, like, because in theory, there's less value out of that on the map compared to how many trees there are or infinite farms, right? But you know what? Speaking of farming, it looks like Beastyqt wants to farm multiple locations. He is going for that TC expansion. Loose as well. This has become really popular for the Arbicids. Instead of playing those like triangle of TCs on the same screen, you want to spread them out and get as much value on the map instantly as possible.
Look at how that archer is somewhat next to it, and there were some really low HP villagers.
Oh, here we go.
You have to love it.
It's coming. I called it. I somehow knew. It's almost like I spend way too much of my day not touching grass, but instead watching high-level players as they will snipe the ball.
Well, that just doing quite some solid job now, and those villagers were really low on HP. Oh, could be a snipe.
Oh,
Not committing.
Needs to get out of there. Now, keep in mind, folks, that was not Pumbaa, by the way. That was the unnamed boar. We hadn't become emotionally attached to that one. Pumbaa in the south should be safe for at least another minute before MarineLorD turns into a savage and kills that one as well.
It's Pumbaa's father who died.
Yeah, but he's not even named. Like, this is the Bambi's mum thing over again, only I didn't see it, so I'm not emotionally invested.
Lucky you. Lucky
I need
you.
plot development. I told you, you need to stop watching the extras from these movies. They're just going to depress you.
My life would have been so much better if I didn't see it.
Well, we'll have to see if MarineLorD's life can get better, because I think BC wants to unsee what's coming his way. The archer's starting to mass up, but not a critical mass really being achieved. Like, MarineLorD, oh, like that, I spoke too soon. I told it! I called it! We're there, baby! It's the year of the Roost proxy bases. Here on Lipany, they will reign supreme. Triple archery range next to the boar site.
And now the overchop here as well. He didn't. Oh god, and I thought like, no, this is not a really MarineLorD play, but oh boy, is he proving me wrong. Now goes for the big attack, and the question is, will he have enough wood? Now goes for a wooden fortress aggressively there. We need to see a follow-up with some rams behind this.
Right now, MarineLorD is just chanting, hi-ho, hi-ho. It's off to work I go, and his work is to butcher the Arbicid peasantry. He's in, wooden fortress being established. This is actually incredibly effective. 2k HP on those outposts, and also room for 8 units to garrison inside. If this staging point goes up, BC's in trouble. And already being sniped.
Send a scout to the other side.
He's min-maxing it.
Vision.
He's getting in now. He doesn't care. He sees that they're unguarded. Whoopsie. And they're not working. That's just idle economy right now, because you're out of position with your spears. Wow.
See quite some range there, and look at the military count, 17 to 7. More archers are now coming over, and Beastyqt, what's this reaction? Would need to go for horsemen, but typically you don't have enough food income at that point.
I think you just stick your arms down your side at this point, and then you punch the keyboard out of frustration, because this isn't what you expected. Like, we talked about how Vortex innovated the build, and now MarineLorD's doing it again by dropping outposts in his opponent's base. This is looking more and more scary the more we see it in this tournament.
But why is it a play with Roos here? It's just so crazy. Probably because you are out there and then you can kind of hide it as a proxy thing.
Well, it's also because you're up against Beastie and he keeps asking for more outposts. Oh, sorry, you meant the archery side of things. Like, I mean, it's just efficient, right? Like, if you're moving, like I talked about this, like the multi-value. If you're moving 8 villages out at an early point onto a boar, the gold is nice, but then you need intrinsic value afterwards. Sometimes it's like a hunting cabin next to a woodline and a berry bush. Sometimes it's just multi-archery ranges. But he's finding this value, right? Because otherwise, like, what happens is you're just going out there for a boar alone. That's not good enough. This is the way to min-max your economy early on, and it's so effective in this situation.
And now let's see what he will be able to achieve. 25 military, 8 more archers in the queue. No, okay, he cancelled some here. MarineLorD, or 4 more just popped up. Look at that, 29 military. If he goes to like 2 rams, I think this TC can't be held.
No, you know how BC really likes those late games? Those late games involve tech ups, and he wants that tech up. Look at his food. Look at his gold. The timing on this is going to cripple him, though. I don't think it's going to be quick enough, and BC is going to be left naked and beaten in the streets from this.
Let's take a look what he can go for. Gold at the front, quite exposed. Now pulled some villagers, low HP ones in there as well. Tower could be annoying if they reposition themselves.
He needs wood, right? Like, look at his wood right now. He has none. So he can't even build the infrastructure if he gets this tech up to zerg his opponent. That's the detail that's mattering right now. And that's why MarineLorD will probably look to drop another outpost, already wrapping around with second group of archers. And as you said, so many injured villagers, soon to be dead. Picks him apart quickly. And that eco count.
No, Beastyqt will lose so much here.
Look at the eco count right now. They're even. This TC has had no value for Beasty. It's more or less just been 1 foot in the grave from the point he built it, because this ramp up has never stopped from MarineLorD. He doesn't intend to drag this out of castle. He wants the game done now, or at least in the next 5 minutes.
Well, maybe makes an attack move into the House of Wisdom here. Second ram being built, military numbers still looking pretty hot. And the big problem, Beastyqt. Look at that, floating so much food, but not on gold. His TC is next to a gold. I'm surprised that he's not going for it.
Like, he doesn't want it, right? He needs wood. He needs wood right now. It's simple, man. He needs the wood. The gold doesn't help him right now. And the wooden fortress will at least be denied. Best forcing out the garrison. Idle eco now. You know, Beasty, like, we're talking so much about these wood lines, I'm starting to worry for his hairline because he just has nowhere to run and hide now. Villagers.
Oh, let's take a look. 33 archers. Villagers still coming out, doing quite some damage. Archers a bit out of position. That ram actually might die.
No, they
It's just not even
re-garrison.
a counter again.
They're paranoid about those archers. Just so many of them. More rams are coming. Interesting enough, he could just snipe out the military buildings. Because Beasty, it's not about killing the TC. It's about killing his military buildings because he doesn't have the wood to replace them. But instead, falls back for more rams. And more villagers will arrive to try and address the siege going on in the primary TC. He'll peel them back. Archers will arrive, forcing out the garrison. 19 here. Nice and efficient from Beasty. Not too many that there's not room to garrison, but enough that he can insta-burst those rams if he gets the opportunity. And oh my god, he's still going.
We just see the lead there. Oh, he's pulling something now. Oh, horsemen now coming in. That's nice. Should probably stop the wooden fortress.
Yeah, he wants that villager. He's going to focus on him now. So the archers will try and trade out a little bit here, but the villager's going to be sniped. And that will prevent that wooden fortress from going up, because had that gone up, that would be all wood lines denied away from Beastyqt.
Uh-oh, goes for the town center there. Villagers are being pulled. Ram at the front, low HP.
He looks confused about what to do with these rams right now. Like, you want to go for a landmark victory, but the House of Wisdom is very tanky, right? Just get rid of the military buildings, I think, is the play here.
I think
but right now, he says
7k HP is not that crazy.
It feels crazy with 3 rams, though, right? Like, 5 seconds to do 200 damage each time is quite a long wait. I like this game with the house, though. Actually, he can break the network. Golden Age is about to go to 0. 1 house. That's all it took. 1 tiny little house to break his economy.
Crazy. I would have never thought of that. MarineLorD now going for some more upgrades here in the blacksmith and wants to go for the stable now. Only 1 stable. No, actually a second one behind there. Quite surprising that he has 6 in the queue. Didn't have the wood for more stables early on.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh, he's found the wood line. Panic! There's nowhere to run, though. This is a corner trap. Oh, no, Beastyqt. MarineLorD doesn't even need to go for them right now. He just needs to posture. He needs to protect the rams. The villagers rushing out. It's going to force a reaction. Beastyqt, in for a penny, in for a pound, has no choice but to fight. Archers backing up for the moment. Spears trying to gap close quickly. In the meantime, Knight or 2 just chasing down the villagers. One of them dying to the villager revolt, in fact. Rams, in the meantime, going to be picked off by the villagers. But this trade comes out fairly even, and it means the MarineLorD is clearly ahead. The eco count is even, and so much idle economy right now for Beastyqt.
Look at the military count, 43 to 17. That's the big story here, that MarineLorD simply has an army that Beastyqt can't address. He can still, like, try to survive, but it just feels like a heads-up fight will always go in MarineLorD's favor.
He just can't do anything right now. Like, he's so paralyzed. There's no easy place to go because these wooden fortresses, and then there's an archer and knight battalion splitting up for the remaining areas, right? Like, so you can't gain any resources for free. There's always a price to pay, and MarineLorD only accepts payment in blood.
Okay, well, I'm not really sure if you want to do it then. But sometimes you're forced into some decisions that you actually don't like, such as expanding with villagers and trying to go for very exposed deer here.
This is a gamble. Like, if he gets spotted out, I wouldn't be surprised if BC just waves the white flag. But right now, it is not spotted. And instead, focus is on that secondary TC. Something that maybe should have been addressed a little bit sooner, but this time MarineLorD has eyes on the objective, the critical one. Stop the scaling, do not let BC recover.
But how can BC recover? It's just so tricky, more risky moves, more moves out, and horsemen trying to intercept, letting those go. TC is a goner, and that villager.
Oh, is he gonna snitch?
Thinks like a villager.
He doesn't know, though, right? It's like, oh, these have been sniped because I'm Roos. There's no way someone's out here hunting deer. But TCs are being hunted in the base. One's going to fall. And that means you're in a little bit of trouble because that makes room for a new wooden fortress.
And Beastyqt is still floating quite some food. Still not on gold,
Yeah.
and now the knights are clearing up those horsemen.
Yeah, the horsemen can run away, of course, but slowly but surely they're being sniped out. And the kind of issue now is MarineLorD has figured out where you've gone. He's just following footprints right now through the dirt. He's like, hold on a second. You're not in the north. You must have gone south, or you're back on that wood line where he's got archers already deployed. Whoopsie.
Oh, and he could move in again. I'm not really sure where the one ram is. We had one at the right-hand side. More knights are coming into the front, and it just feels like MarineLorD with 1 TC can somewhat keep up with the 2 TC, but now it's 1 TC versus 1 TC.
And also, Beastyqt, he was actually pop capped that whole time. He only just realized he only just had the required amount of wood to build all these houses. So he couldn't even scale his army or his village account further. He was just kind of locked. And it meant that MarineLorD was able to gap close on the eco count and also keep the military advantage. That military advantage, though, going to be forced to fight. Knights wrapping around. They're going to find the villagers running out, and they're leading them right to where the pocket economy is. And there's not enough room in this inn for everyone. And he realizes that calls GG before he loses 20-plus villages. MarineLorD will even this one up.
What a nice aggressive play. Holy moly. Absolutely loving it. And MarineLorD, just the normal, stable archer play. Something we expected. But then the switch with the triple hidden archer range edition. Absolute madness. And Beastyqt was not ready for it. Did not have the proper horseman numbers to deal with it.
Now, I want you to be honest. I'm sure you've encountered MarineLorD in your pub experiences a few times. How many times have you won against him?
0 times, I believe.
That's okay. That's okay. I'm sorry I had to do that to you, my friend, but it's to raise a point. You didn't think he was going to do this strategy. You were like, don't think he's practiced it. There's no way he gambles on this, right? But that is what is making MarineLorD a god. He sees it, he dissects it so quickly after watching Vortex do it, and then he instantly applies it. It's so spicy the way that he's done this, because he also evolved it. Like, this is every time I'm seeing this from a new player, they're all jumping on the same bandwagon, but each time they're just putting their own little twist on it, you know? So there's still room for you, Nili. You can still get a win against MarineLorD. You just need to add something else into this combo. Maybe
Compare that wood.
a Kremlin.
Yeah. Maybe some aggression there.
And here we go. So opening, I know what we're looking at first of all. Where's that Uvu? Out in no man's land, right? That is not a safe Uvu at all that BC has. Luckily for him, though, this is a matchup where this maybe stings him less because it's unlikely that MarineLorD is going to rush him early as this Civ.
Absolutely. Not that important. Obviously, we discussed it a lot in the Mongol Mirror early on, where we felt both players could go for early aggression, and then overplacement is more important. But we feel Mongol player should be the aggressor here. Holy Roman Empire player should be the defender. And therefore, what happens at your base, not that important. You have to break your opponent. And Beastyqt, he's taken everything off wood. So it's going to be a rather fast feudal age without a barracks.
Yeah, and he's already got the second scout out, right? Like he has his Khan, he also has a scout because you need those additional sheep. And he'll get the additional sheep because MarineLorD didn't build a secondary scout. He didn't look to cripple Beastie's early economy because he wanted to optimize his own. Like, this is a bit greedy. Could come back to bite MarineLorD a little bit, but should allow him to unlock Castle a little bit quicker than he would otherwise.
Okay. Oh, damn. I actually, like, it's so weird for me to cast a full day of, like, a major tournament where I want to follow so much. And I didn't really check Wikipedia and didn't really check on the results. I sometimes tried to read up chat, and apparently some crazy storylines happened there. Obviously, after the set, we will take a good look at who went through and who we are covering next weekend. Because obviously there we will conclude the round number 1 of Golden League and try to distribute all those points. Pretty damn interesting, and so many big names already falling.
Yeah, they can't all make it. There's so much talent in Age of Empires 4, and some of them have to fall by the roadside in these rounds, I'm afraid. We can't just have them around till the end. But, you know, focusing on this matchup, because, like I said, these are two of the highest rated players. These are the ones that people definitely got their eyes on. Beastyqt winning N4C, MarineLorD the favorite to win N4C. We come into this one. One thing I already want to just praise MarineLorD about is something that players have started to lock onto more and more, optimizing your early game economy. Notice that he pulls all of his sheep to the right side of his town center to minimize the distance the prelate has to run between the gold line and the food line, meaning he's actually buffing more villagers than he would if he started and kept those sheep on the southern corner of the town center. Really cool small detail.
Ooh.
Actually efficient for your economy, though. Adds up quickly. Oh, it's coming. Hold on. I think MarineLorD accidentally signed into the pup version of the game because we see it a lot there. Not so much here on the live server. It is the Minework Palace. And Beasty hasn't spotted it because he just assumes his opponent is going Archon. But he's going to discover it now.
Wow. Minework Palace, something we very rarely see. Aachen Chapel just so efficient and yeah, instantly scouted. So good job there. Maybe even arrests the villager a bit. And Beastyqt, how does he react? He now knows that his opponent is going to go for lots and lots of army.
Yeah, and the concerning part is that Uvu. We said, the Uvu doesn't matter at all, whoop-de-doo. Like, now it does. Now that Uvu is a vulnerability, and MarineLorD just scouted it as well. He knows about that vulnerability. And it is going to force Beastyqt to, like, knee-jerk react and drag Feudal out long-term. And if he does that, then MarineLorD has a better economy, right? Because even without the Archon Chapel, he can build multiple prelates. He can get that 40% buffer. You don't get your economical buffer as the Mongols until you build a step readout in the Third Age.
Okay, let's take a look how we continue this one. Because what is MarineLorD going for? Do you play stable here? Do you play archer range in addition to your barracks? For now, not having enough wood anyways.
It's the racks. It's the racks play, double racks.
Is it just man-at-arms? It can't be man-at-arms.
I think it's double racks.
He sends villagers back on gold. There's man-at-arm play.
Yeah, but it's not just about the goal for the men-at-arms. He wants marching drills, right? You need marching drills to make this work. Like, it's critical that you get marching drills. And also, because you're getting a discount, it's affordable. This is a big deal. You get a huge discount on what is usually too pricey for a tech because it costs like 250 gold normally. Now it's down to 187. It's more feasible to pick up early, and it means that your man-at-arms can gap close on enemy units. However, you are up against Yam. That's something I have to just, like, prelude this with. It's a big movement speed boost, more than what you're getting out of marching drills. So we may still see a situation where Beasty just kites MarineLorD.
Well, let's take a look. Beastyqt, obviously we were expecting an archer range to just get a critical mass, and then, as you mentioned, just kiting is a good option. Now even added a scout. Interesting. Didn't start with one initially. Oh no, he had a scout pretty early on, my bad. And now the big question, will he get archer numbers out quickly enough? Can't obviously build the archer range next to his oval. Oh, he can because of the tower.
Yeah, tower protection comes down really early, so archery range going to be built. Interesting considering he's up against man-at-arms. And the man-at-arms, you know, it's no test server with an English man-at-arms running on your goal line at 1 minute 30, but still to arrive before the 6 minute mark and shut down your economy in your military district before you can build it, this is frustrating. He even got the tech up into the range resistance, right? So these outposts don't hurt, and it means you're going to hemorrhage villages very fast.
Mangodai would obviously be a crazy unit there. Oh, villager, low HP. Oh, wait.
Fly, you fool. Run. The power of Yam compels you. Run faster. Wait, oh, that idol. Almost cost him dearly.
Obviously, Mangodai would be a great unit. Can't really afford it. Doesn't have enough gold for it right now. Now dropping off the gold, and bop, we see the double Mangodai production.
Yeah, it's the drive-by ponies, right? There's no answer to this. You can't actually reach them. And this is my concern about this strategy. Is like, you need to now get into Rams in the next 3 minutes. Otherwise, like, he'll just spam Magadai. Like, he's got a lot of surplus stone. And if you can't deny the gold, yes, Magadai are an expensive unit, but that's where the Uvu comes into play. Discounting it. So actually, instead of paying 160 resources each time, like, you're just replacing it with a passive stone resource you're generating.
That makes it so sweet. And now the micro is obviously so easy. And we have the switch for MarineLorD into horsemen and archers behind this one. One hit against the Khan. We'll take that one. I don't think we will see any more men-at-arms in the queue. I think simply a unit that won't work at all against Mangodais on the field anymore.
Yeah, he's baiting his opponent. So now he wants to transition, and he wants to have a strong, like, power spike with horseman spam to respond. And you see, I believe he's transitioning again. I believe there's an archery range being built. So he's going to have the flexibility, the holy trinity of production buildings. And the whole concept is that Beastyqt is now invested in Magadai that have been discounted. The key is that he needs to make sure Beastyqt buys like 6 Magadai, because then he's fully invested in a unit that's going to be suboptimal against archers.
But why would Beastyqt so heavily commit? He should have scouted the archer range and should have scouted the stable. No, runs
Well,
away.
he has 2 more Maganai coming. And the reason he's doing this is he does see horsemen, and horsemen are a good counter, right? But the maneuver arrow. The maneuver arrow lets you get far enough away. And if he drops a forward outpost, there it is, then all of a sudden, you could never chase these Magadai. Speaking of which, Magadai is starting to do a lot of damage here. Minimum health on them, but you have to touch him. And that's the challenge right now for MarineLorD, is he cannot gap close on them at all.
Do.
Can't touch this. And they're going to touch you, a lot of them. Good God.
Only 2 archers out right now. Ideally wants to get onto like 6 till 8 to really take some good fights against all those Mangodai, but it just feels like such an easy game to play for Beastyqt here. He gets all the scouting intel, has a very easy unit to micro, and MarineLorD, he needs to come up with something creative to maneuver out of this position.
This is creative, but kind of weird considering the position he's in. He's taking a siege engineering, but he's in his own base. So he's not even going to get to use it, right? Like, usually you see siege engineering being researched when you're on your way to your opponent's base. Instead, he goes for siege engineering over marching drills, which would give him somewhat of a gap close initially with the archers to maybe catch up to the Magadai, but now these Magadai reign supreme. However, MarineLorD's not going to deal with it. He sees how he's outmatched there. Instead, he's going to go raiding with his horsemen, trying to prevent the reinforcements, but that's going to expose his eco line. Drive-by incoming. Onsu going to be picked apart as he moves away from the TC. This is the weakness of Magadai. Short range, cannot dive the town center, but as he extends out a little bit, MarineLorD is going to start to hemorrhage villages quickly.
Oh, more villagers dying here at the front as well. Send them back and loses another one.
Horseman as well. Wait, did that prelate just heal a dead village? That's in denial right there. He's not dead. I can still save him. It's been 20 minutes on the defib. Call it.
Yeah.
This is good though. Like
pressing some F keys.
Well, this is good, by the way. Like, he needed to get rid of this outpost. Like, if this outpost didn't fall, he could never chase Magadai. He now has a little bit of breathing room, but he still hasn't answered the pew-pew ponies in his base.
Where's MarineLorD getting food right now? He's pushed away from the berries. I don't think he had too many sheep left.
That was all he's getting, right? Like, yeah. So he needs to farmland switch. That's why he's got so many people in wood. He needs to switch to farms right now. This hurts.
Whoa.
Like, where's his
no
room
food
for
in
farms, right? Like, he doesn't have much room. Like, maybe 8 farms max, and that's all you're getting. And that's why he's doing this. Like, he needs to get as much as he can together and just ram rush. Because the difference between Magadai and his formation is his formation can breach and Magadai cannot. As you'll see, just one of them casually try and do so and die.
Well, let's take a look here. Those witches are being pulled away again. And the ram push that is coming in, obviously going into an area where we already have 3 defensive towers.
Oh, party with the villagers. Looking at the garrison. Going to bait their opponent in a little bit, and we'll just hide inside the safety of the outpost. But need to be careful to maximize the damage. And there's not enough archers here to punish this play from Beastyqt. He's slowly depleting the ram, and it feels like a wasted investment right now. Like, this is not going to be good enough. MarineLorD, if he's lucky, gets 1 outpost and nothing else. Whoa, Beastyqt, calm down, buddy. Getting a little bit expiration.
Yeah, and now obviously the Mangodai are coming from the side and it will be the full clear up. I don't think you can really retreat from this too easily. Mangodai even chasing behind this one, and now we should see the arrow, and this is impossible to take a good fight for MarineLorD from here on.
Yeah, this is the bye. Have a good time. You cannot touch me. The Khan is literally teasing him right now, and there's nothing he can do about it. As he's going to blitz his whole army. And this is because of all the horsemen. The archers are finally here, but they were on defense mode. So brilliant done by Beastyqt. He will now move away from the archers. Heavy hit into his Magadai lines. 2 or 3 of them get picked apart. But he already reaped the reward. Several horsemen going down, archers as well, and buffers his opponent back to the midpoint of the map. MarineLorD still having no room for a tech up.
That was a really good pickup for MarineLorD, though. He got like 3-4 Mangodais there, scared them away at a moment where I felt, okay, Beastyqt should just out-micro him so easily now. Beastyqt obviously on the way to castle it here. Not really on the way, but he is thinking about it in the sense that he has a lot of food and gold in the bank plus the triple tower. I don't think he can be broken, although he still continues to build some horsemen. So scared of a continued all-in.
This is a really good flexible build as well. So right now, the horsemen Magadai dominate. Should he ever tech up, he switches into Lancer's Magadai. And once again dominates. Like, MarineLorD has stunted his own growth so much, and he's in trouble now. Because he moves out onto the deer. He doesn't have the surplus wood to switch into farms at all. He needs everything pushing into horsemen and archers. And surprisingly enough, despite what we said about how amazing the HRE economy is, it is putting a huge burden on his ability to scale.
MarineLorD is doing such a good job of putting all the resources on the map. Just a second ago, he had a combined resource of fewer than 50, and look at that. Great macro, puts everything on the field. He knows he needs to break Beastyqt right here, right now, but Beastyqt realizes and continues to build horsemen. What a great awareness.
Oh, Magadai. Ooh, a little bit of a mistake here from Beastyqt, because his Khan died. He doesn't have the maneuver arrow to instantly get close away from that, right? So he will lose 1 or 2 Magadai, but you can see how the damage just adds up. Like, it really starts to sting. And MarineLorD does have the range resistance upgrade. Despite that, Magadai slowly but surely killing off these horsemen. Now moving out with the villagers. The ram push is renewed. One villager may be being sniped down there, but the horseman buffer is a little bit scary, and his horseman out of position, not able to stand and fight here. The archer's retreating away. That's going to give time to gap close here for Beastyqt. With his own archers coming out as well, he's going to wipe out the front line and pursue straight onto the archer battalion. And the marcher drills helps a little bit, but not much. The Yam movement speed outpacing him, allowing him to insta-gap close and stay on top of the ranged battalion here.
And those horsemen couldn't help out because they were lower against the Mango Dice from earlier fights, and Beastyqt with a great hold. It felt like quite some nice aggression. What do you think? Maybe some prelates? If you try to go all in, if you try to make something happen, maybe 1-2 prelates at the front could have really helped out against for MarineLorD. I think he would have still lost the fight, but as a general idea.
Yeah, it feels like he needs them to get his economy right. He's starved. Look at this. When was the last time you saw an HRE player at 40 minutes in the game with 1 gold? 1. Literally 1. He's got a penny. That's it. He's like, what can I buy for this? Nothing, you cheapskate. Get out of my store. Oh my god, don't even look at that gold line. They even look slow when they gather. Now the ram retreating back towards the eco expansion. The Magadai wrapping around. So many villagers out in the middle of no man's land. They'll turn with their shift to fight. They have no other choice. The Magadai will sidestep this and back away. Prelate's trying to efficiently heal them up. But damage quickly being done here, and hemorrhaging villagers left, right, and center. Prelate's also falling. Minus 100 gold, minus 100 gold. It's actually better to kill prelates than it is to kill villagers here, as it's double the value.
Also, it gives you a bit more breathing room. You don't need to think about those relics that early on. And now goes for another attack. Those villagers should already be suffering quite some HP losses from earlier. Still manages the defense quite nicely, but sees you're in Castle Age. I'm out of here.
Yeah, peace. If I'm HRE and I get beat to castle, something's gone darly wrong here. And the all-in feudal play does not work out for MarineLorD, as Beasty will take a dominant win here on Dry Arabia in Game 3.
That was quite a nice play. We felt, though, Mongols should perform pretty well against HRE. Simply because we felt Mangodai could be a really good unit, and MarineLorD maybe felt, okay, if I play a standard game, I can't do anything. That's why he opened with some men-at-arms, got some pressure out, didn't really find the villager kills that he wanted, and then the follow-up with horsemen and archers, but it just felt like Beastyqt, with his OVO support, got onto the better numbers.
Yeah, the problem is that the mime work is abbreviated. It's not his full name. Like, you'll know this being a German, you know what it really, like, the full name is. It's mine not work, because it really doesn't work, as we just saw there. It doesn't seem to do anything right now, which is what the pop patch is looking to fix, right? Because it's going to increase the tech speed as well. But right now, the discount is just not good enough. Like, I've actually cast a game where B done this type of build with Beasty, and he memed it. He was like, I don't understand it. Like, the mine work past the Chinese.
Yeah, A with 4 letters, too easy to me. So
yeah, you want 4 teammates that you can't control that will call you dogs and probably spit at the monitor to try and spit on you. Be my guest. Hey man, like, this is the beauty of AoE4, right?
With AoE.
Exactly. There you go. In 1v1s, you're like in control of your own destiny. It also means you can't get carried by other people, but but actually, technically, there's something really nice about Dota 2, because you can actually just blame someone else when you lose, right? But anyway, let's focus on AoE4, because these guys can only blame themselves or map generation when it goes wrong. And I think that's the first thing we always love to check, is if anyone got a peach of a spawn here. And right now, Beastyqt looks pretty cute itself, actually. Like, pretty defensible, those tree lines. And that means that MarineLorD might struggle a little bit to raid effectively here.
Mm-hmm. And French, untypical choice for this map, right? Most of the time we think about French on very open maps where they can use the mobility, as we saw in game number 1, where we had Dry Arabia and lots of pressure because lots of raiding possibilities. Not really something we see on Altai too much, simply because it's so easy to wall. It's so easy to basically funnel your opponent through tight, choky areas where French don't really shine that much.
Yes, it's kind of weird to see French get picked on this map. Like, it's usually reserved for the open maps, like Dry Arabia comes to mind, obviously. It's interesting that MarineLorD is the player to go for it here as well. Like, he really loves these open maps where he can exploit his opponent and pick him apart. But Beastyqt going for someone a little bit tried and true more so on this map. Like, Chinese are pretty powerful here. They have a condensed economy area with everything being pushed closer together. You can see already he's getting the double value. The berry bush and the deer site, as well as sheep there. That's a huge amount of economy all gathering into one building, meaning he's going to be able to maximize taxation and not even have to go into gold to reach his feudal age.
That's pretty crazy, right? Look at that. So much dropped off. Also, the deer really close to the mill, so he has to be happy with that. Carrying the 40 gold over, collect some wood, and has to be happy with how this one is going.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he just brings his scout back with a sheep and then pushes the deer in, right? That's become more and more popular. That's something that I've been watching players do a lot more. But what? So many sheep coming in. This is so big as well. Like, you've got to remember what we said. Like, these are usually 250, but for him, it's 300 food each. This adds up quickly. And there you go. Beautiful. Double value as well, as the sheep seem to be in mating season on top of each other.
I think he could have pushed those deer in even further, right? Oh, no,
I think
actually,
he's gonna, yeah, he's wrapping around. It's just the wolves are a little bit of a problem. Wait. MarineLorD, come on, grief him. Nah, he's not gonna do it. I've seen a few players do that on purpose. Like, they'll move their scout and push the deer even further away. But no dice here.
Maybe it was too close and didn't really want to lose some scouting time. School of Cavalry, now from MarineLorD. Obviously, if we think about MarineLorD, we think about his great dominance when it came to the French meta times. And we see the Barbican opening. A bit of a surprise after we saw lots of other openings so far.
I think it's the open north side. So, like, right now, Beastyqt with this Barbican drop, he's actually secures his ability to rush castle if he needs to. Whereas if he didn't have a Barbican here and knights start to ride in, he has no gold. He only has taxation. But this pads that area, and he needs it because one weakness in Beastyqt's generation is if you look to the north side, it's open plain. So knights can ride in there. At least with this in position right next to the gold vein, you can collect safely, and it's going to be very hard for MarineLorD to deny you a quick castle age rush if you choose it.
Well, and obviously, Chinese, they want to get to Castle Age, wants to make their Clockwork Tower work. And how many villages are building the Barbican?
Probably like 2, right? Like, I think actually 1 at that build rate. Yeah.
It's only 1 villager.
I saw the build rate as like, that has to be 1. Because remember, trying to build these quicker, right?
Yeah. Just
Based the timing.
This is a really late feudal age timing.
Yeah, but I think he's scouting, right? Yeah, he's got a scout right outside of MarineLorD's base, so he knows if the knights are coming. This is like very min-max perfectly by Beastyqt, and now he'll go for the second TC. So he might delay the Song Dynasty upgrade just to get the second TC out first, which will also buffer the breathing room, because he can use it to protect another entry point into his base. It's really interesting, actually. I'm kind of curious to see what MarineLorD's going to do to address this, because I feel like his breach points are depleting very quickly, and it means he's going to actually have to fight his way hard into Beastie's base.
Okay, what will that knight achieve? We see Beastyqt already going for the Spearman. TC spot at the top could be really easy, protecting all the food income, protecting that stone as well. For now, Beastyqt is not really on gold, but doesn't need to be, simply because he's collecting so much tax. And I would be surprised if MarineLorD finds a lot of damage.
Yeah, that's a problematic situation. Like, his economy is condensed, so he can protect with just a few spears. And look what's coming out now. So it's Horseman, which I love. By the way, guys, you should always do this. If your opponent is scouting, build a Horseman. Because the Horseman can gap close and chase down the scout. And if it's in your own base, 2 Horsemen will kill that scout before they make it back to their home base. It's such a powerful move. And it's denial of vision, right? So now, Beastyqt doesn't know what MarineLorD's going to do next. You can guess, because it's French, right? But he doesn't know for sure.
Well, maybe he got some scouting intel before that. Obviously knows, okay, you aren't really rushing to Castle Age too quickly. You got a knight out, you got a horseman out, and maybe tries to loop around a bit more. And that looks like maybe a building that got started and then cancelled. Maybe MarineLorD is playing some mind games.
And Beastyqt is showing a lot of respect, right? He goes for the second TC next to his primary. We talked about loose
Archer
TCs
range.
to min-max, but I think that was a Rax, actually. No, wait, no, that's an Archer range. Because Rax has the two, like, side pillars at the front.
And MarineLorD, look at his resources. That would be a
Wow.
reasonable castle edge timing. And
It
Beastyqt,
is.
he's late to castle edge, guaranteed. Goes for the Spearman upgrade, plays double TC.
I think he's not
not
even
bad.
going for a Castle Age Rush. I actually think he's going to build the Imperial Academy. This feels like it's an eco boom game. This is very dangerous in this situation with MarineLorD rushing up as well. The cool thing that MarineLorD could actually do is he could actually siege very quick. And look at this, the Rax! The proxy Rax gets spotted out though. Oh my god, Beastyqt, how did he find this? Wow.
What?
I can't believe he spotted that. And the
This
villager...
has to be something out of practice.
But it's MAA spam, right? Like, that's what he wants. He wants to minimize the time to get into his eco lines. Big brain move, but big play out of Beastie to spot it. The Spidey senses were tingling. Something was off, and he will deny the opportunity away from MarineLorD.
That's just crazy. He knew exactly, wow, okay, I'm cutting some corners here. I'm not going for the wildest army composition, only going for some spearmen. You might be thinking about an early castle age. Men-at-Arms will damage me quite a bit. So you want to go for that sneaky move. And now even adds another scout. To get some more vision.
And now Raiden. This is what MarineLorD should have been doing. He's finally going to do it. Strikes at 1 or 2 villages, but will be chased by the spearmen. Might find himself quickly dead. But I think this is why Beastie knew something was wrong. Like, he's playing French, and they haven't even tried to dive his eco lines. So he knows that his opponent is going greedy because of this. And it means the racks have to be built back in his own base. And while MarineLorD now has the tech up, he doesn't have the positioning to instantly zerg into his opponent's economy.
Arms now coming out. Armor upgrade as well. And honestly, with the Barbican out, now some more walls here. I think this will be tricky for MarineLorD to find some damage. I think Beastyqt, if he gets like double archery range out and some crossbows,
boy.
he should be fine.
A little bit of a freebie, not able to finish it off though. And the important detail here is Beastyqt, he didn't complete the Imperial Academy. So now he will just go castle, because he understands the play now. Like, he understands that he's TC boomed and he's escalated. He doesn't need to double down, he just needs to answer what MarineLorD's about to do.
Look at that.
Yep, I mean, it's not the usual Great Wall of China. This one's made of wood, but it will be an effective one, and the clock tower as well. And as to be said, that the Altai has a lot of natural choke points, and something I've seen Chinese players do with this map is they just zerg out bees, even with their slow production rate now. They get to like 5 or 6, and then they just win a fight in a choke point. So MarineLorD needs to make sure he has anti-siege ready for this problem.
Oh, sneaky villagers here.
Wait.
Their story.
No, the walls, though. The walls are coming. Oh my god, Beastyqt again is going to spot out the attempt, but the outpost being built. Question is, can he react in time?
God, like, what is one outpost alone going to achieve? Spearman
No.
can be sent over.
I thought he was going to go for the Rax play, to be honest with you. Could you imagine Men-at-Arms wrapping in from the west side of this base as well? That would have been huge. But instead, here we go. Arm the peasantry. It's like time to burn some things down, boys. Some people
What do they have
using
in their
meat
hands?
slabs. The meat slabs as shields. Meat slabs and baskets as shields. Like this
Spearman
prime
needs to be
cut
sent
beef
over
will
there.
take quite a few shots before it's able to attack me. I think that's 2 villages less for the French if he's not careful. Able to back away though.
And now we see crossbow. Indeed, in production 2 out already. Will easily deal with those men-at-arms. And that means Beastyqt will simply have the better economy. And we have to question the French choice again. Simply because they couldn't really use their mobility.
Yeah, if MarineLorD had one of those kind of like stereotypical French, like, you know, moustaches and goatees, he'd be like stroking it right now. Kind of like wondering, what do I do next? What is the play to bounce back? Because I had a plan, and Beastie kind of read it perfectly. Right? Like, that rack's not going. I think that was the game plan. So MarineLorD is now kind of switching on the fly. And this is something that craft players have been like used to doing for a long time. They have a kind of fixed strategy for the first 10, 15 minutes. Then they change it up. So this is the important moment. Where's the transition? What is the move next? Because right now, MarineLorD is stubbornly doubling down on the men-at-arms.
And we see another scout. Did I just see that? I thought I saw
Oh,
another
Sport
scout. Yeah, for Beastyqt indeed. So Beastyqt is going for another scout. And we just killed that boar. Okay.
The casual 12 mana arms build to secure the boars. That is a very popular play.
Okay. Don't want to have any losses.
Yeah, they're tanky boys. None of them die. So he's gathering the board, but he needs to, right? Like, he needs as much efficient economy as he can get. Because remember what we talked about with farms. Farm transition is really hard to achieve right now. Like, I feel like the timings of players have gotten so tight that when you switch to farmlands without having a like condensed and enclosed base, you're essentially offering up a win to your opponent. And that's why BC's able to do it, because he did wall himself in first.
Thing is, though, something we didn't really mention, MarineLorD. Actually quite favored when it comes to relics. We see the early try to contest those relics here by Beastyqt. Not really happening, though, simply because he only has access to one at the top, and that's being attacked with the men-at-arms right now.
Yeah, but the crossbow are getting value. Like, this is the problem. The pinnacle actually coming in. MarineLorD, he's not reacted to this yet. The pings are coming out the whole while, so he didn't care. He doesn't get through the wall. He doesn't find his way in. He will at least snipe out the monk, but this trade, not in his favor.
And trying to get... Ooh, how did he get in there?
Wait,
Maybe
was there a
some
villager
overchop
pool?
at the woodline?
Yeah, I think actually that wasn't even a play from MarineLorD. I think Beastyqt just chopped the wrong tree. He gave access to the base, but not enough of them.
Take a look. Tries to re-wall again. That villager. Okay. Seems like he plugged that one. And more aggression here, but crossbows are dealing with it. The thing is, villager lead for Beastyqt actually not that crazy high.
No, because it's 2 TCs versus like 1 point... I'll get this number, like 1.2, 1.3, right? So like it doesn't build as quickly as it would against other civs. Remember, MarineLorD is also up in castle, so it's even less time to produce villages than we're used to seeing out of a French player at this time in the game. But
Another layer of walls.
this is the
Beastyqt
scary
wants to
part.
play the long game.
Yeah, but this is the thing. Like, he doesn't have to play long. He can just chip his opponent apart. Notice the big difference between these armored infantry raids. One is very effective, one is not. The man-at-arms are too slow. Like, MarineLorD's strategy, I think, was to end this game like at 15 minutes with like 10 man-at-arms burning buildings down and building rams. If he had to raid to kill villagers, he knew he's going to be behind. Meanwhile, Beastie has a smile on his face because look at these zoomers. Look at these lads go right now. They're juicing. They work out. They go for jogs every morning, and it shows in their 1.38 movement speed.
And there will certainly find some poor buried people there. And they might get buried.
They will. 6 feet under, my friend. You know what? It's nice, though. If you die near the berry patches, logically, does that not allow new berries to grow? That's just the system of life. But, oh, hello. MarineLorD, we said about that critical number needed. He's here, but the crossbows are ready. That is going to be a problem. And look at the Pigeon baiting him into a bad fight as well. This isn't good. I think he auto-aggroed there. He's looking elsewhere because he's coming in on the south side as well and being raided in his own base. Crossbows backing up. Trying to breach through the south side. But it's going to take too long, and he might be swept on the north side and then swept on the south.
No real reaction at the bottom. Is microing quite nicely here. Pigeon obviously trading off at the front. More crossbow coming over. And the attack at the front.
Wait, no.
He's not really going through.
MarineLorD, just go around. Magano line it. Just go around right now. It's open. He's like, I want a bigger entrance.
Is it though?
No, the quick wall. He gets the gap. He gets to the corner. Oh, he doesn't hold it, though. He needs to get through quick. And it looks like they're stuck. They're not actually going through quickly. They're kind of just bugging through the line right now. They're phasing in and out of existence. And it means he can't breach quick enough. The wall will be complete. And most of his troops denied.
Oh, and someone moonwalked in there, but couldn't really get in there properly. Now the cross was there for the defense. This is looking really good for Beastyqt. And the problem is MarineLorD. He will get at least one monk kill. But still, like, his army is scaling so poorly. If you're French, you don't want to go mass man-at-arms.
Yeah, I think MarineLorD forgot that this isn't StarCraft, so his unit shouldn't have teleportation devices, as that man-at-arms was very eager to get through that wall. But now, with this critical mass of crossbowmen, he's going to be pushed back. And the issue is that MarineLorD still hasn't transitioned. It's only been men-at-arms for the last several minutes, and BC already transitioned. It's crossbows Palace Guard. The Palace Guard bait him in on the auto aggro, and then the crossbow clean him up. And the Palace Guard are hard to kill because they can just disengage quickly.
Where is that relic? Okay. That was one from the center.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's been
Where?
yoinksying. And
Ah,
MarineLorD
that
has
one's
not been...
sick.
MarineLord's still not carrying them. Like, he's had mid control this whole time, and he didn't choose to go for this because he didn't want to weaken his man-at-arms formation. But I'm sorry to tell you, my friend, I think your man-at-arms formation has been weak for a while.
How are upgrades looking? Okay, we have Beastyqt now going for attack for both units. On the other side, we have all the attacks for MarineLorD. Okay, so those men-at-arms are quite beefy. We just need to run.
Bye! Thanks for coming to check our expansion. Imperial Fish was going to die because no one likes taxmen. But the villagers will get away.
And now we have Nest of Bees also added there. Walls at the bottom and Beastyqt. He's just playing the dream game here. Knows he has the better stabilization when it goes to the late game. Walls up the map. Makes sure to not die here in Castle Age. And it will get really tricky for MarineLorD to make something happen.
Yeah, and the walls just gonna deny room for MarineLorD to like flank. Not that he can flank quickly, right? Look how long they're chasing. He actually just calls it. He realizes this is pointless. When an old man is out zooming him, he wants nothing to do with it. It will go the way of Beastyqt. 3-1 as he proceeds through into that upper bracket final. MarineLorD will have to stay in the lower bracket and hope to make a redemption run.
Absolutely great performance by Beastyqt, and lots of doubters, lots of people saying, yeah, but MarineLorD is the better player. He just got unlucky against Linok or just had a bad day. But oh boy, Beastyqt showing that he can beat MarineLorD not only if something is happening in favor of his bracket, but also head to head.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like everyone was like, "Oh, you know, Beastyqt only won because Linok beat MarineLorD for him. Real grandfather was in semi-final." Now look at him, because that looked pretty dominant. MarineLorD able to take his opponent down 3-1. That final game as well, just completely dismantling and spanking his opponent out of this, putting him in that lower bracket where I believe MarineLorD will have to match up against the winner between the Muslim sort of and Wham. So like, I'm looking at the brackets now. It hasn't fully updated yet, but should be interesting.
We can look at the brackets on stream together.
Wow. The Muslim's out.
Yeah.
He sort of lost.
Against?
Sort of. That's what the pun was, my friend. So yeah, the Muslim's out. Wow. Look at that. So that means that sort of a Wham will face off against MarineLorD. Interesting rematch potentially there, as MarineLorD was the one that pipped Wham at the post for qualifying for M4C. But wow, what a dominant showing out of Beastyqt. This final game didn't look close. I mean, really what we kind of got a presentation of is what happens when you skip leg day. Because that was the difference. These men-at-arms feel entirely useless unless you can instantly cash in on them at the beginning of Castle Age.
So I think how this works is that next week we are going to start Saturday. I think it's the same starting time with 14 or 15 GMT. Then we will work through loser bracket round of 4. That should be MarineLorD Viper. Will sort of Wham and Puppy Paw B finish tonight? I think so.
So Puppy Paw and B is scheduled for the 27th. So that should happen today, and then we'll return on April the 2nd for those lower bracket games. And then, of course, you know, the upper bracket finals will also happen on April 2nd. So I think everything but the lower bracket finals and the grand finals will be resolved on the 2nd of April and then 3rd of April for those. So plenty of hype action still to catch. I mean, like, if you guys are wondering who's still in this, you know, you've got Sort of versus Wham playing right now. You've got Puppy Paw versus B playing right now. And then, of course, Viper and MarineLorD are now in the low bracket waiting for their opponents from them. And, of course, Vortex and Beastyqt have made it through into the upper bracket final. So still a lot of big names, but also some potential upsets, right? Wham and Sort of on one side, Puppy Paw and B on the other. B, I think people would expect it, but a lot of people didn't know these other players. They've kind of seen them around. They've seen them making somewhat of a run, but usually they don't get this deep. But this kind of proves the grind. This proves how quickly new people can just emerge, because I've seen these guys grinding on the ladders, and they have been looking fierce. So I'm excited to see what they can do future-wise in this tournament.
Wow. That's so crazy. Obviously, like, lots of names there. Keo having another great run. Running, actually taking game away from Lenok after beating Hut. B now going. That's going to be so sick. And lots of names that we heard of and felt like, okay, they are probably top 20, top 30, but now having some real breakthrough performances and going deep. $125,000 on the line. Obviously, people have been try-harding for weeks now.
Yeah, it's getting sweaty, right? Like people are starting to go, oh, there's actually a lot of big prize pools here. This is here to stay. They've got someone to commit to. That's the beauty of the Golden League. It lasts 12 weeks. So it's not just show up for a weekend, whatever may be, and you're done. You have to consistently improve and maintain a regular performance, which is why it's exciting to see how people will learn up against these top level players. Because it's not uncommon to have your Vipers and your Casvas like scrimming a lot together, or your Beasties and your MarineLords, right? And there's a lot of these players that kind of get overlooked. This isn't just an opportunity rather to make money. This is an opportunity to face off against the best and essentially just get more experience and adapt your own gameplay.
Sort of, apparently, is on a streak of 6 series wins in the loser bracket in a row. And
Yeah.
he's now trying to win his 7th set.
Well, he's
Let
annoyed.
me look at the early. Did he lose his first round?
Yeah, because he's in the lower bracket. So he got
Sort
knocked
of,
down
yes.
by, I'm trying to think who it was now. It was, if we just double check,
Sort of.
Lenok.
He lost to
knocked him
Lenok.
down 2-0.
And then he beat Erie, State,